Joseline's Cabaret, California, episode 15, titled, Welcome to Vegas, baby. I want you come and pay me. Give me money, give me diamonds, give me rubies, baby. So the episode starts off with the girls arriving in Vegas. Envy Erica feels some type of way about Lexi Gold because she says she's hearing that Lexi Gold has their names in her mouth. So we know by default, Des is gonna feel the same way too because the two girlfriends are one. But yeah, Ocean's gonna try to piggyback off of that. And she's like, I'm not surprised because all she does is put people down. I'm like, oh, whoa. Pot calling the kettle black? Girl, look in the mirror. You are the one who puts people down. Like, is she tripping? This whole crew is the ones that put people down. Like, that's crazy that she said Lexi Gold. Lexi Gold, honestly, to me, is the last person that puts people down. If anything, she's always not with the bullshit. She's always like annoyed of the bullshit. She didn't want to do her whole fighting with Chinx, you know, she was over that. Like, she didn't like it with Kanaya and Nick were fighting. She was literally above that and being like, let's not compare, y'all are different. Like, I don't know, I just don't really see Lexi Gold as this big hater off cameras and always talking shit about people and bringing them down. Drea chimes in and Drea says that Lexi Gold was calling them crusty. I'm like, okay, girl, but what did you do to her? She's not gonna just randomly call y'all crusty. Like, come on now. Yeah, you can kind of see the setup for this. Like, you can see the girls slowly are gonna start turning on Lexi Gold. Like, pretty much it's the whole house versus Chinx and Kanaya, and now we can slowly see them starting to turn on Lexi Gold too, because Lexi Gold chose the wrong side. She's over there with Kanaya, trying to be Kanaya's friend. Danny even had to speak up and be like, it wasn't really none of that. Like, she wasn't talking about none of y'all. Like, we're just recapping everything that happened, which I'm like, thank you, Danny, because I'm just like, I don't remember Lexi Gold saying anything like that. And like I said, she's not messy. She hasn't shown herself to be messy or instigating or talking for no reason on the show so far. So they arrive at their venue where they're going to be performing later. They're going to be doing some rehearsals. Des and Envy Erica hold hands all the fucking time. I'm like, y'all must be in a fresh new relationship because there is no way. Oh my gosh, every scene they're in, they're steady holding hands. It's giving a little bit of they just trying to do that for the camera. Okay, so it starts off literally straight to drama. This time it's Nick. Nick has taken a step out of Des's book, talking about some, I'm in the right place. No, they're in the wrong place. Like, here we go. You see Ricardo trying to tell Nick that she's in the wrong spot. And Nick is straight up yelling at him. Like, she's being so loud. She's being kind of disrespectful too. Like, I know where I am. I know where I'm supposed to be. Like, this is where I am. And even Egypt is literally trying to tell her, like, no, girl, like, this is not where you supposed to be. I'm honestly surprised at how Nick is talking to these girls and none of them said something. I'm sorry, but she was being a little bit too snappy, had a little bit too much attitude. She was yelling. But like, Egypt was still steady talking to her calm while Nick was like, no, like she was like yelling, right? And it reached a point where even Ricardo snapped and he was like, you're wrong. Like, girl, shut up and just listen because you are loud and wrong. She finally listens to the girls and they're telling her like, you got switched with Danny, remember? And Nick is like, oh yeah, I forgot they switched it up. Oops. Like, girl, oh my gosh, you had way too much conviction. Like, to me, that just says a little bit about Nick's character because like she was just so sure of herself, like to the point where she was literally arguing with everybody, even though multiple people are telling her, no girl, you're in the wrong spot, you're wrong. You know what? Maybe you should take a page in Kanaya's book and tell Ricardo no, because Kanaya said when Ricardo tried to switch her and Danny, and you know what? I just noticed it's always Danny. Danny's always up because Kanaya said Ricardo tried to switch her and Danny too, and she told Ricardo no because she can't think like that at the last minute. She can't be in a whole different spot and trying to do choreography. You know, it's gonna be a different routine. So yeah, he pulled one of those again, trying to switch Nick and Danny, and Nick forgot that he switched it. That's crazy because I thought Danny was a good dancer. I don't know, is she not? Does she always mess up? But yeah, anyways, Nick did apologize. She was like, my bad, I'm sorry. Like, girl, next time just listen because literally they were trying to tell you the whole time. Joseline enters the venue. She looks good. We see the girls dancing a little bit, and I do have to say they look pretty good when they're dancing. My eyes went straight, especially to the middle when they were all posed up. My eyes went straight to Kanaya and Lexi Gold, like right in the middle there. I thought they looked really cute. But yeah, Joseline and Ricardo go outside to take a smoke break, which honestly, I just feel like this was a whole setup for Chinx. Y'all was just trying to get Chinx to fight people. So Ricardo and Joseline start talking about Chinx. Of course, she was MIA. She was not a part of the rehearsals. At this point, it's just kind of like, what are we doing here? She's missed damn near half of the rehearsals. She's not there during celebrations. When it's time to hype up, she missed one show already. Like, it's not really fair too, because Chinx has tried really, really hard. In my opinion, she proved that she wants to be in the cabaret. So yeah, she arrives just in time. Ricardo goes up to her and he asks her if she's ready to perform, and she's just kind of like, well, I don't know, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. She still feels some type of way because people jumped her, people are sneaking her, you know, just a lot of shady shit happening. But she says she's ready to come back, and Joseline's like, listen, there's no cabaret without drama. Like, it's a whole bunch of girls, they all get their period at the same time. And I'm just like, I hate when people say that, because that just plays into the stereotype that girls can't get along, and that's just not true. It's just not true. Y'all can't get along. Like, stop trying to make it seem like it's a girl's thing. But anyways, yeah, Chinx talked about how she has problems with basically the whole house. Danny snuck her, and like, Danny was like one of her last lifelines, right? She was one of her last friends, and she snuck her. So at this point, it's pretty much up with everybody, except I think she don't have a problem with Kanaya. Yeah, I think that's about it. It's like she has a problem with almost everybody else. So Chinx is like, it's just kind of hard to rehearse when, you know, there's a whole bunch of drama and shit happening. So that cues Ricardo. He's like, all right, I'm about to go get whoever has smoke with you to come out, and y'all can handle it, and then we can move forward. Ricardo goes back inside, and who does he come out with? Egypt. I'm like, of all people, Egypt is the one that y'all brought out? Honestly, if I was Chinx, I would be pissed off, because first of all, y'all know that Egypt beat her last time. But no, there were so many other girls that she has smoke with, like even more than Egypt. Danny, who just snuck her and hit her off the side of her head, number one. Like, that just happened. It was fresh. Should have brought Danny's ass out. The girlfriends, they try to jump her. Like, where were the girlfriends? Why didn't they come out? They didn't want no smoke now all of a sudden. T-Love, Sky. I mean, where is everybody? Why Egypt? Egypt didn't even really have a problem with her. Egypt just started fighting her because she snuck her friend T-Love. So to me, them bringing out Egypt right now just made no type of sense. I didn't get it. I feel like Chinx is the punching bag this season. They just wanted somebody to fight Egypt, because Egypt's the biggest girl and strongest girl in the house, according to Big Ant, the security guard. Yeah, I feel like nobody else in the house is gonna fight Egypt except Chinx. So they were like, come on, Chinx, like, you gotta get her again. Honestly, that's what it seems like. So Egypt comes out immediately. She's squaring up. She's trying to fight. And Joseline's like, wait, let's get some dialogue. Like, what's the beef? You know, let us understand. Which I do appreciate, because I really hate when they just start fighting for no reason. But yeah, Egypt said that she has a problem with Chinx because Chinx went online and she was talking saying that Egypt jumped her, and her issue was that, like, she was running her mouth online and she hasn't said anything to her face to face. So I was like, okay, I understand that a little bit. But let's go back to that jumping comments. Where is the lie exactly? Like, I know Egypt feels like she didn't jump Chinx because she was already fighting her and T-Love jumped in, but it doesn't matter who did it first or second. A jump was had. She got jumped and it involved you and T-Love. So you know what? I'm gonna go back and watch that scene so I don't misspeak here. Let's see if she got jumped for real or if it was more like a tag team thing. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little gray area. It's because Egypt was fighting with Chinx, all right? She pushes her back into the bushes and Egypt's trying to get at her, like, in the bushes, but security starts to grab Egypt around her waist. T-Love comes in and T-Love starts swinging. So at that point, I would have said at that point that y'all jumped her, because still Egypt and T-Love were on top of her at the same time. Security came and was pulling Egypt off pretty fast. Egypt did one thing that I said, this is why it's a gray area. She pushes T-Love and tries to push her away. So to me, if Egypt was really trying to jump, she wouldn't have pushed T-Love away. She would have just been swinging on Chinx. Okay, so I'll give her that. She did try to push T-Love away. I don't think Egypt's intention was to jump, but regardless, a jump was had. It was just T-Love that did it. It wasn't Egypt. I completely understand why Chinx said that, because at the end of the day, all she saw was two people on top of her trying to get at her. So what are you gonna do there? But anyways, they can't agree, so they square up and they gonna fight. Chinx is literally laughing. I got one round for you. Like, I'm not about to get fucked up. If Big Ant, the security guard, is even saying Egypt is the strongest girl, like, what the fuck? Chinx has no chance. Woo, yeah, it didn't look good for Chinx. It didn't look good for Chinx. So, you know, they're squared up. In Egypt, she leans back. That's what I noticed. She leans back and she starts, ooh, 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 ooh. Chinx is putting her head down. And she's trying to swing. And unfortunately, that did not go well for her, because once Egypt got a hold of that head and she started doing this, ooh, boom, boom. It was over. She couldn't even swing anymore at that point. She was literally just holding her head like this while Egypt was just banging on the top of her head. Security had to come and break that up. I'm just like, this poor girl, I hope this girl does not have a concussion later on, because the way she was beating on her head like that, oh my gosh. Joseline's in her confessionals talking about, yeah, Egypt beat her ass. And that actually bothers me because, like, how can we move forward when the ogre beats the cat? Like, you in these names, stop. Not the ogre beating the cat's ass. Oh my gosh. So after all that, you would think like Chinx was over it and she just would like want to quit or want to go back to her hotel and rest, at least something, right? But no, she is still ready to continue dancing. And I'm like, damn, if that's not devotion, I don't know what is. I don't know what else she has to do to prove that she wants to be in the cabaret this time. Like, she's proven herself. So they bring Chinx inside. Joseline's literally saying like, yep, let her dance, let her dance. Like, she pretty much asserting she does deserve to be here. Egypt is standing there too, which I'm like, why is Egypt still there? Literally, like, Egypt should already been inside. I don't know why she was still there. But yeah, in the middle of them speaking, Egypt just sneaks her, boom, right in her face. I was like, oh my God, why? Girl, you already beat her ass. So why did you feel like you just needed to sneak her right now? I don't get it. Like, how many times does it take until you're satisfied? I don't like when people like know that they could beat somebody and then sneak them. Like, what sense does that make? At least like it makes more sense if you know you can't beat them, so you sneak them. That makes more sense to me. Because honestly, this is just gives bully. It just gives bully. Egypt says that she snuck her because Chinx lied on the internet and said that Egypt snuck her, and also that it was for T-Love, which I'm just like, okay, first of all, you already handled that situation at that party when Chinx snuck T-Love, which I even said at that time it was wrong. Like, she didn't need to sneak T-Love, but she did sneak her. But the thing is, Egypt already fought her over that twice. So Egypt saying that she snuck Chinx right now because Chinx snuck T-Love makes no sense to me at all. I'm like, no girl, you already fought her for that. And then you saying that, well, she said on the internet that she snuck me. You just fought her outside. You just beat her ass, girl. What are we doing here? What are we doing? You're doing too much. And I actually do feel really bad for Chinx too. You could tell that shit hurt. Like, she was in pain. She was breathing so hard. Like, her face, oh my gosh, her poor face. I also just hate that I feel like Chinx feels like she has to endure all of this because she quit last season. So she's trying to prove herself because she's like, you know, yeah, that's kind of on me. I should have had my head on a swivel. Like, she's not even mad about it, which is crazy to me. She snuck Lexi Gold in the beginning. She snuck T-Love. So she did sneak a couple people, but still, I don't feel like the girl deserved to be snuck after she got her ass beat. Okay. So Joseline tells Egypt, like, girl, look, if you don't stop, you're not gonna dance. Like, that's it. You better stop. Leave that girl alone. And Egypt calms down. She's like, okay, I will. I wish Joseline would have spoke up more this season about jumping and sneaking and letting these girls know that's not how you do it. If you really want to fight, it needs to be a fair one-on-one. Okay, so Chinx comes in, and I'm glad now that she is finally speaking up. She literally was telling Joseline, like, this is not fair. You know, y'all get on me when I sneak, but I'm always getting snuck and nothing happens to those girls. And Joseline's like literally tells her, listen, I'm not gonna let anybody sneak you. That's it. She assures her that, you know, she earned her spot in the cabaret. And I 100% agree, because who else has been through what Chinx has been through in the house? I mean, I know Kanaya had a hard time, but I feel like Chinx had it much worse. Joseline says she believes that Chinx is here for the cabaret. She has to be, since she ate that up. She proved herself pretty much. And I'm like, I told y'all this was a gang. I believe you're here for the cabaret since you ate up those punches to your face. Not, I believe you're here for the cabaret since I've seen you dedicating and practicing and dancing for 16 hours straight. Not, I believe you are here for the cabaret since your dance has improved so much. No. I believe you're here for the cabaret because you ate those punches to your face. We know what type of show this is now. It's okay. It is what it is. Chinx and Joseline hug each other and they get emotional and they start crying. And I was like, oh, Joseline has a heart. It's nice to see when Joseline shows her heart and her soft side. I feel like she's always trying to portray this hard exterior, that it's kind of refreshing when we get to see Joseline open up and just be human sometimes. So Joseline brings Chinx inside and she lets the girls know Chinx is here to stay. She earned her spot, okay? Danny apparently was looking with a stank face, and Joseline starts ripping her a new one. She's like, why are you looking like that? What's wrong with you? Danny's like, because of what she did. She lied and she betrayed us, Joseline. Joseline immediately starts walking up to Danny like, oh my gosh, how fast Joseline came up to her. Danny switched up 180. She was like, no, I'm sorry, big mama. I'm sorry. Please, no. Oh my gosh. The fear that she has instilled in these girls is crazy. And then Egypt is all of a sudden like, you better get your pit bull. She's staring at me like, girl, why would you say that right now? Like, you deserve that. Now Joseline got up in her face. Shut the F up. Didn't you sneak her? Didn't you already beat her ass and you snuck her and you're still here dancing? Be quiet. Get your pit bull is crazy though. Like, I understand why Joseline got mad at that. That is a little bit disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Egypt, calm down and she be quieted. So we see the girls rehearse. Chinx is there rehearsing with them. I thought it was very interesting that Chinx was literally like right next to Lexi Gold at one point, literally body to body. I'm like, ooh, how hard that must be to have to be, you know, that close and intimate with ops, literally. Chinx's mentality is like, I could be professional when I need to be, right? And Joseline reminds everybody it's $50,000 and she's gonna choose the right person. Like, she never chooses the wrong person. I'm like, really? Because I feel like there's a couple of girls that you regret picking as a winner last season, even the first time. Majority of those girls like got in beef with Joseline so bad that they're never coming back. So I just thought that was funny. So we see the girls getting ready for the performance in Vegas. This place is huge. Like, every performance that they have, to me, it looks bigger and better. The stage is huge. There's so many people. Literally, the show was sold out and all the girls look good. I love the black on them. We got to see them dance too, which I appreciated. Kanaya, Lexi Gold, Neek, even Des. I feel like they did really good. At the end of their performance, Joseline is actually giving Lexi Gold some love. I feel like she sees her improvement and how she has progressed so much. She tells everybody Lexi Gold might be the next person to run the cabaret while I'm out having a baby. And you know, Lexi Gold was just so happy. And obviously, like, you know, it was just in the heat of the moment. They're on this high, the crowd, the energy and everything. She said it. I didn't really even think too much of it. It was just a compliment in my opinion. But you know, one girl, she felt some type of way, and that was Drea. Drea did not appreciate that comment because Joseline has been telling Drea for a couple of years now that she was gonna run the cabaret when Joseline, you know, left to have a baby. Which I'm like, by the way, when she keeps saying that too, I'm like, is she coming back? Does that mean she's coming back? Like, she's just trying to have a kid and she'll come back and take over the cabaret? Because I really don't see Joseline just handing over her cabaret to somebody else. I don't see that happening. All right, so now the scene cuts and we see the girls on their way to have a dinner. Drea is sitting all the way in the back with a hoodie on, head down. She feels upset at that whole comment that Joseline said. She literally says that this might be her last day. If she doesn't hear what she wants to hear tonight, she might go home. And she breaks down. She starts crying. She's like, I spent so much time away from my kids for this. This is my life. This is everything. I put everything into this. I'm not gonna lie, I do understand her breakdown right here. I do feel like Drea, Danny too for that matter, but like Drea has given everything, her soul, to the cabaret. She really loves Joseline so much. It's like, okay, hold on. I've been here for you for how long? Lexi Gold comes so fast and just like that, you're ready to make her the leader above me? Like, I understand why Andrea feels that type of way. Which, to be honest, real quick, if we're gonna say Drea or Lexi Gold in terms of leader, they need a leader like Joseline. Somebody who's hard, who could put all the girls in their place. And I don't see neither Drea or Lexi Gold in that way, to be honest. I don't know. I was gonna say Neek would be probably a good leader, but we already know that's not gonna happen. So at this point, I don't think she's gonna give it to any of the new girls. They're way too new. It has to be somebody OG that proved themselves. Maybe I could see her giving it to Oceans. Well, that would be really f***ed up because Ocean's not even a good dancer. Like, yeah, no, I feel like it's still gonna be Drea. Yeah, Drea's having a breakdown, y'all. You could tell there's so much pent up anger with Drea because she's bringing up from before. She's talking about how she's had to spend her own money every time they go to Florida. But yeah, Joseline calls her broke. How her husband lost his job, which I was like, ooh, what does that got to do with the cabaret? Why would he lose his job? Is it like, I didn't understand that correlation. But the kids, like, I completely understand being away from your kids, like the sacrifice. I do have sympathy for her. Constantly just to be shitted on when you're trying to do your best, it doesn't feel good. That's why I said I appreciate when Joseline shows love to the girls and is positive to the girls, because she doesn't always have to beat and berate them. Like, who the hell can thrive in that kind of atmosphere? But yeah, jump to the other sprinter, and we have Lexi Gold talking about how she thinks that she's ready and she's willing to have a conversation with Chinx. If Chinx apologizes to her, she could pretty much move forward because they didn't really have an issue. I don't know if Chinx is gonna apologize, but I do think she owes her an apology because she said some really crazy things. Like, there are just certain things that you don't say because it can ruin a person's reputation, get into the whole defamation of character, especially if it's not true, which to this day, I haven't seen anything saying that it's been proven true. So I'm not even going to repeat it because, like I said, when you say something one time, the internet sticks with it forever. And that is so annoying to have something attached to your name when you're innocent and you didn't do it. So they reach into the place where they're going to have dinner. It's outside, which I'm like, smart, because we already know how these dinners go. So they all sit down with Ricardo. They're all smoking their hookah. Ricardo is like, hold on, where's Chinx? Like, literally, how many times they've had to say, hold on, where's Chinx, is crazy. Like, the girl is just never there. But this time, it's actually a good reason. This time, they said she's in the hospital after her fight that she had with Egypt. She might have broken her nose. She might have had an injury to the nose, which I was like, damn. I really hope after all this, she didn't get kicked out and all of this was for nothing. And I hope she's still on good terms with Joseline. Like, I hope she's still, like, today, right now, dancing in the cabaret, because it's just a lot. I commend these girls for enduring it because it couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. Okay, so like Ricardo's looking at Drea like, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking like that? And Drea starts expressing how she's upset because she feels like she put in a lot of work to be here. But then she kind of starts changing and she's like, yeah, I feel like bees are trying to finesse and like cut hoes off at the legs. And I'm like, girl, oh my gosh, I know you are not talking about Lexi Gold right now. This is really misdirected anger. If she's really angry at Joseline, she's directing that right towards Lexi Gold. She's jealous at the fact that Joseline said that to Lexi Gold, and she's making up this shit in her head that Lexi Gold must have planned this and she must be stabbing me in my back because there's no way that Joseline would say something like that. There's no way. Like I said before, it was just the heat of the moment. You took it way too serious. Joseline was just high and happy. Not literally high, but you know, on a high. And she was so happy in that moment. I bet you she didn't even think twice about it after that. You're the one who's still hung up on it. Lexi Gold in media is like, girl, what the hell? I was shocked when Joseline said that too. You act like I knew that she was going to say that. I didn't know she was going to say that, which is like what I've been saying all along, right? And she's like, I thought it was always going to be you. Literally, I congratulated you even. Like Joseline has said multiple times that Drea would be the next leader. Like I said, this is just dumb. Drea's just in her feelings. Okay, so they move into like an actual table where they can sit down. They're like, we don't need to be fighting next to these hookahs. That's dangerous. Literally charcoal, the glass, the hookah can break over, the glass can break. You don't want to be in that predicament, right? So yeah, Ricardo's kind of leading here and he's saying that like, we just want to make sure that everybody's truly here for the cabaret. You guys' actions haven't been showing that. And I'm like, what do you mean? What action hasn't been showing that everybody sitting there right now is not here for the cabaret? Who? Call them out then. Who? Because honestly, I feel like all of them want to be in the cabaret. But anyways, he kind of like pulls a Natalie Nunn, right? He's like, so if anybody has anything to get off their chest. So Drea speaks up and she starts talking her shit. And this time, Lexi Gold is on different energy. Lexi Gold is literally saying like, you know what? It takes the right type of beat to run the cabaret. And I think I'm the perfect person to do it. Pop that shit. Say it. Say, yeah, you know what? I am gonna run the cabaret because the way that Drea came at her was just so wrong. Like, she had no reason to come for Lexi Gold like that. So I'm like, come on, Lexi Gold, do more. Tell her you're gonna take over. So they're arguing. Drea grabs her silverware. She tries to throw that at Lexi Gold. Here we go. They get up and they square it up and they're about to fight. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, you know what? I'm gonna give Drea her credit because Lexi Gold and Drea are completely different sizes, different heights, different weight classes, different species. And I'm just saying, like, they are not matched at all. We see Drea immediately, boom, like you hear one hit and I see Drea start swinging, boom, 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 boom. But of course the scene cuts and we get the previews for the next episode. So I'm not even gonna say who I think won until I see the full fight in the next episode.